Hello. I am a gamer. I'm sorry. Sue me. Spider-Man the movie. The game. 2002. Activision. This is one of the first games I ever had for PS2, and it scared me. I never beat the game because the second level where you're going to try to fight and kill the man who killed Uncle Ben used to scare the shit out of me.
What are you gonna do? You gonna shoot me?
I couldn't beat it. I couldn't beat the level. But now I'm a man. A manly man. A manly man who's manly and strong and tough. And can beat video games like Spider-Man the movie, the game 2002 by Activision. Now this was the golden era for video games that were adapted from movies because most of the time the people who did the characters in the movies would reprise their characters in the game. Like Tobey Maguire was in this game, Kirsten Dunst, and of course, my favorite, Willem Dafoe. I'd say that all of the performances in this game are very checked out. It doesn't seem that Tobey wants to be there.
Oh yeah? Well, I'm afraid I don't give autographs. Sorry.
Or Kirsten.
Oh, yeah. Thanks again.
But Willem cannot help but just put his whole Willussy into the role. And any role he's in, he is just... Willem. The story really doesn't follow the movie at all. It just does its own thing. It starts normal. As I said, you're hunting Uncle Ben's killer. But his death is a little different in this one. It was a little less on Tobey for some reason. Dude just kind of tripped. I don't like that. My Spider-Man's a murderer. Then the next level starts and you're going into like setting up the Sinister Six. You're immediately fighting Shocker. After you beat his ass, you fight the Vulture. After you fight him, you fight the Scorpion. And you're thinking, oh, they're tying the Sinister Six into this. They're going to tie it into the Goblin. They're going to make this like a whole thing and then somehow round out back into the movie. But it's not. When you beat the Scorpion, Spider-Man says this.
I can't help hoping I've seen the last of him.
And then he's just not in the game anymore. It's like they were planning to have him back in the game. It's like they were being really ambitious with what they wanted to do with this game, but they're like, no, because from that point on, it's just a Goblin story. And even before that, Norman Osborn was sending robots out to hunt Spider-Man because he wanted his DNA to help him, like, build super soldiers.
We can modify the hunter-killers to track this DNA signature and capture Spider-Man. Do it.
But once you beat Scorpion, Norman's just like, fuck it. I'll just use the serum I have and turns into a super soldier. And that storyline is just kaput as well. I don't know. Whatevskis. You do a couple missions from the movie. You save Mary Jane once.
Help!
Fight Goblin. Save Mary Jane twice. Fight Goblin. And the game ends. On the bridge. Goblin stabs himself with his gliders right there on the bridge. Instead of having the cool fight in the empty, like, abandoned building. But you know. Whatever. And then we close out on Peter telling me to touch grass.
Yeah, that's my life. Complicated. Looks like you're done now. Go outside and play.
Fuck you, Peter. So now on to the good parts of the game. There are some fun missions. The Vulture Tower is really fun. You're just like running up this tower and finding your way through all these obstacles, and you gotta crawl through little holes in the wall as Vulture's throwing bombs and spiders and all sorts of shit at you, and it's getting real hectic and things are on fire. That's a cool mission. The intro to Shocker is fun. The mission's just you running around saving civilians and security officers in Grand Central Station. And there's this really like scary, suspenseful part where this dude is standing under some rubble that's about to fall, and he's on the phone and he doesn't notice it's gonna happen, and like, oh my god, it was so scary. Like, if I didn't get there just in time to save him, he would have been squashed. But I really got to feel what it was like to be Spider-Man and save this man's life in this level. And I'll show it in its entirety right here.
Help! What's going on?
You really ought to pay more attention.
I was really sweating after that one. There's this whole entire arc of breaking into Oscorp. Breaking in is crazy. This is an old PS2 game from 2002, but it's like a massive map We have to go around and find like a bunch of passwords to get into a certain door, and once you're in a certain door, you gotta sneak through a bunch of lasers, and once you get through all the lasers, you gotta get to this place and mix some chemicals together, and yada yada, things explode, and then you gotta escape the place while the alarms are blaring. It's really cool. I wasn't expecting that in the game. It was neato, honestly. And then there's another level that's part of that where you're fighting just a giant robot within Oscorp, and there's so much shit happening on screen that you can't really tell what's going on, but it's really cool. Again, this was in 2002. Like, this game is honestly kind of impressive. In the last level too, of just fighting Goblin on the bridge, that was really fun. Just swinging around and him flying around, and then you'd knock him off and beat the shit out of him on the ground, and he'd beat the shit out of you. It was cool. Number 2 on the list of things that is cool, I don't know if I said number 1 before, but number 1 was fun missions. Number 2 is goofy cutscenes.
So you must be Quilt Man, Padded Pete, Mr. Triple Ply? Oh, I've got it. The cushion.
I'm the Shocker. I tell you not to forget it, but you won't be around long enough to worry about that. Now say goodbye to Mr. Innocent Bystander.
The animation is terrible, so a lot of the characters just look scary, and I enjoy that. Like this one lab worker who helps Peter.
What are you guys cooking up here?
I swear I didn't know Oscorp even had a...
Scary looking. I love how just like disconnected Toby feels from what he's saying in the game. Goblin will die, and Willem's putting his whole like heart and soul into this performance.
Tell Harry I'm sorry.
And Toby will respond with this.
I'm sorry too.
Kirsten Dunst doesn't feel like she wants to be there in the slightest.
Mary Jane, there's something I have to tell you.
I know, Tiger. You don't have to say.
Why is the music so fucking loud? What is happening right now? I love that as well. It's everything I've asked for. Just the cutscenes in general. The animation of the movement is very strange. I'll throw some clips in there that I think are funny. Here you go. Number 3. The dialogue and fights is great.
That's what the skulls you paid to...
Mostly in the first and second level when you're fighting the thugs.
Look at you.
They go, "Circus in town."
Circus in town?
That makes me smile every time. They moan when you kill them.
Anyone? Circus in town? Who's that?
I'm gonna take you down.
Almost every enemy in the game moans when you kill them.
Can I cut in?
I love the moaning. Number 4 for good things, it's a short runtime. I think I beat it in like 2.5 hours, and a lot of the levels had a decent amount of variety to where I was having fun the whole time, and it wasn't really feeling like a dredge. It was feeling like a classic Spider-Man adventure. And last but not least on the list, cheat codes. I'm a sucker for cheat codes. I love cheat codes. Early 2000 cheat codes were great. You got alternate costumes. You can be this concept for Spider-Man before they settled with the Tobey one they got. And that's cool. You could do big head, big feet mode.
Blah, blah, blah.
That's fucking cool as shit. You can do first person mode. Honestly, this one sucks. Doesn't work too well. It flips you around when you're trying to swing in one direction, and I just don't like it. It's a little disorienting, but if you want to play like this, you can, I guess. I don't know. There's Tiny Spider-Man, where you can just be the smallest Spider-Man possible and go beat the shit out of people, and also move really fucking slowly and have a little giggle. You can do that. You could also put them all together and just have a clusterfuck of cheats going and end up with cutscenes like this and fight scenes like this, and it looks like I'm just jizzing on these guys right now instead of webbing them up with my spider web. So those were the good things. But there are also bad things, of course. Bad things would be, number 1, the controls. Turning is atrocious. You can't just like turn on a dime. Spider-Man does this like big ass fucking circle every time you want to turn. It's terrible. I hate it. The camera flips around like crazy when you're moving, especially when you're on the wall. This shit is just impossible sometimes. Swinging, really not it. Your webs are going straight into space. You can pretty much only swing straight and turn slightly. If you want to turn, you have to jump, turn directions, and start swinging again. Shit's kind of lame. Number 2 for bad things, there's a lot of difficulty spikes. Oh my god. The game is easy for the most part, and then suddenly there's a level that just kicks the shit out of you. Like the Shocker Tunnel level. like he's at the end of a tunnel and he's shooting like shock blasts at you, and you have to run from tunnel to avoid him. But there's like no pause between his blasts. He's just blasting away, and sometimes it doesn't even do the audio cue to tell you he's doing the blast. And when you go from one side to the other, motherfucker is fast as hell. He is like, is he the Shocker or the Flash? Dude just zip zaps around like it is nothing and blasts the fuck out of you. It took me like at least 5 tries to get through this. I was not mad, but I was a little perturbed. The Green Goblin penthouse fight. What the fuck? Holy shit, dude is just doing combos on me and beating the fuck out of me. Just left and right, bop bop, boom boom slam, you know? I didn't lose to him. I beat him. I beat him first try, but still. Holy fuck. He almost got me a lot. I had to keep running back to get health every few seconds because he was just slapping the shit out of me. There's a Green Goblin chase level where he is just going fast as shit, and there is no way to keep up with him. You have to just lose until you figure out his directions that he's gonna go, and you just meet him halfway. Didn't like that level. That level was really annoying. The Oscorp Tower, that whole arc. I know that's on my good list of levels, but it's also on my bad list of levels because holy shit, the robots in this level are fucking ridiculous. They are so overpowered. They shoot bombs at you that throw you backwards. If you go over a tripwire, if someone sees you, if the alarm gets sound, they'll come attack you. There's a lot of doors that you can't see through before you like, well obviously you can't see through doors, but there's like things you don't know what's inside of them, so you just walk in. And I walked in this one room and it was just a bunch of fucking robots and they beat the shit out of me. Like I said, this whole section in Oscorp is really fun, but it was also really unforgiving. Like these robots fucking suck. In the escape part of the level where you're just running to the exit, there's fucking hundreds of them. There's so many of them, and they're just blasting the shit out of you. Shit was crazy. And last but not least on the list of bad things is number 3. They fucked up Bonesaw. That's not my Bonesaw.
You're going nowhere.
But honestly, just only having like 3 things on the list of bad things for this game, from a game from 2002 that's a movie tie-in, I think that's very forgivable. I think that's great. I think they really nailed it. Activision, you got my thumb of approval. 21 years later. Except for the Bonesaw thing.
That's a definite no-no.
Fuck you, Activision. That's what the story is. That's what my gripes are with the main story. But once you beat that story, you unlock a couple things. First off, you unlock bowling, where you just go and swing through. And it took me a while to figure out how to do it because I wasn't realizing you had to kick. I thought I would just bowl through them. I don't know. I'm stupid. And even when I figured out how to actually do it, I think it's impossible to get a strike. I got a couple spares. I never got a spike. Spike? I don't know. Whatever. The bowling sucked. But if you beat the game on hard, you can play as the Green Goblin. And you might be thinking, I don't want to beat this game on hard. I got you. I'm going to tell you a secret way to play this. Unlock the Green Goblin in less than a minute. And live out your dreams. You're welcome. What you're going to want to do is go to the cheat code section. You're going to want to type in Arachnid. That's going to unlock every level in the game. Go start a new game on hard mode. Let the game start. Once it gets to the point that you're playing, exit to main menu. Then you go to level select. In level select, pick conclusion. Let the whole thing play. Go to the credits. You can skip the credits. And once they're done, go to the, I think it's called the secret store. Something like that. Whatever. You'll find it. And the Green Goblin will be unlocked. Oh. Turn it on. Start a new game on any difficulty. And boom, bam, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Whatever the Harry Potter and the Grand Slam. And you're the Green Goblin. You're the Green Man, the Green Boy, Green Little Guy. But you're not Willem Dafoe, sadly. You're Harry Osborn for some reason. He says this when you start the game.
I can't believe I'm doing this. Using Dad's Goblin gear is just nuts. That weird invoice I found with Dad's stuff sure made it look like he was hiring the Skulls gang to do dirty work for him. I have to know what he was doing. Look out, Skulls. There's a new Green Goblin in town.
I don't know. You may have noticed that is not James Franco. No. It's actually Josh Keaton, the voice of the Spectacular Spider-Man, which came out 6 whole years later. Isn't that fun? But anywho, you can fly. You can float. You can shoot guns from your glider. And for some reason, you also have a self-destruct button.
What the?
I didn't really find a useful thing for the self-destruct button, but you can do that. You can also jump off of your glider and just beat the shit out of people the normal way, with your fists and your feet. And of course, my favorite way to beat the shit out of somebody, sprinting full speed, faster than any man can go. So fast that fire come out of my feet, and they get launched off buildings. Just like in the movie. Just like Gobby Boy does in the movie. There are a couple downsides to playing as the Green Goblin. First off being there are no more cutscenes. Second off, it's very buggy. When I got to the second level as Goblin, that used to scare the shit out of me as a kid, I got to this point in the game where the door wouldn't open. I couldn't go any further, so I sprinted around in a circle for a good minute until I got bored and exited out. But after, I did go back in and skip all the way to the last level just to see what would happen, and I don't know what I expected, but it's just Goblin on Goblin action. You fight the Goblin as the Goblin, and this time you're Harry fighting some dude that's not your dad and has a weird voice.
You aren't gonna hurt anyone anymore.
I don't know. That's the end of the game. And I would like to give it 10 spiders out of man because of this specifically.
Thanks.
But they didn't include two of my favorite lines from the movie. One being the classic, being the cliche.
You know, I'm something of a scientist myself.
And two, that part where the teacher comes up to the kids who's like the same exact age as the kids, and he says that really whispery line.
There's no dogs will fail this course. I kid you not.
They didn't include that either. I have to give this game a Quinn dying in The Amazing Spider-Man 2 out of Venom in Spider-Man 3. Real fans know what that means. Okay, that's the video. If you liked the video, please like the video. If you didn't like the video, real quick, I wanted to say thank you for not only 500 subscribers, but 600 subscribers. Ooh. Thank you for everybody who is subscribed. Thank you for everybody who is watching. Thank you to God. Thank you to my mom. Thank you to my dog. Just thank you for watching. I think that's really cool. I love posting on here, and I know at 600 isn't like crazy, but it's crazy for me. I love it. I think it's really cool, and I love that you guys are here to watch it. And Spider-Man.